Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Cleon Cadogan, former Genesis volunteer missionary to the beautiful tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. I was offered the opportunity to share with you why Genesis, and so therefore I thank Trinidad and Tobago, my island home, for giving me the opportunity to share with you today. Well, as you know, I would have mentioned my name before. My name is Cleon Cadogan, and I am originally from Guyana. Studied at Caribbean Nazarene College in Trinidad and Tobago, proud graduate of the class of 2014. My years of service to the Church of the Nazarene in Guyana, I would have functioned in the music ministry at the North Rumville Church of the Nazarene for a number of years, where I would have even served as the church secretary. Involvement in NYI and missions through that initiative, Call to Serve, that was fostered or pioneered rather by Linda and Dario Richards, who now reside out of Barbados. How did I heard about Genesis? Genesis is I'm a second batch of Genesis volunteer and the first for the Caribbean to be sent to another island within the region. And Genesis, I would have heard about it when I was actually in Panama when we had a conference called Focus in Panama. I think that was in the year 2012. And I never went to Genesis until 2016. So sometimes God has a way of how He is aligning you for that purpose that He has for you. And so if you are thinking of Genesis, there is the website. You can also connect with your NMI personnel and Scott or even Emily Armstrong. Why did I decide to participate in Genesis? I decided to participate in this initiative because it was not my decision, but a calling that God would have earmarked for me. I was trying to run literally from this, and every time I shared the experience of thinking about going somewhere else and making life better for yourself. But then you have to recognize that what God has called you to do is more important than what you would want to do for your own self. So the reason is focus, basically following what God has intended for me to do. That's why I would have done Genesis. How did I prepare to serve? The question says, so preparing to serve would have allowed me to partner with persons from within the region and external to the region, praying, fasting, and even going through the training of understanding the people that I'm going to be serving and not the people that will be serving me. Because as a missionary, you are serving the people, not the people serving you. So my preparation was basically connecting and re-engaging myself with the information of who Grenada is, even though I've never been to Grenada before until going to Grenada at that time. As the question notes, I was assigned to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, but I stayed on the main island. And when I was there, I worked through Sunday school, and Genesis started in a bar. Yeah, started in a bar out of a Sunday school initiative. The area is a rural area called Content in Grenada, and Grenada has a population of less than 100,000 people. But when we went to Grenada, we would have just had one church there. One church was there thus far. There was so much. Persons may ask, what did you do to pass time? So community engagement. As a missionary, you have to be willing to engage the people. So community engagement was one of the major things that I would have done. And an initiative that I would have used is a birthday cake for a child, or a cake for a child. So each child was given a cake for their birthday, which I would have had to bake and decorate myself. So you learn new skills while you're on the field. I could not have achieved anything in Grenada without God first, and secondly, the people's willingness to learn. We would have been in Grenada for less than 6 months and we would have been able to establish a full-fledged church. And that was all because of God commitment to the project and the commitment to working with the people. A testimony that I can share with you from those 2 years is like we had a Christmas dinner, and the people said to me, Mr. Cadogan, you're going to be leaving us, and we have to take responsibility for our church. If you go into any area, you must encourage the people to let them know that the project is not yours, the project is theirs, because self sustainability needs to take place after you would have leave. And what a beautiful testimony to share that Grenada had one church when I was in Grenada at that point in time, and now Grenada has 6 established churches. And we just want to thank the leadership for working with Minister Alistair Douglas, Reverend Alistair Douglas, who is the pastor and now an ordained elder within the Church of the Nazarene. The major challenge is that you'll have people dynamics that you'll have to face. And if you recognize that facing people dynamics will be a challenge, you have to allow the overall arching vision to be realized, which is the mission and not your agenda. And so therefore that was just the challenge that I would really say was the difficulty. What am I most satisfied about the journey? That I am still involved in what is happening in Grenada. I am more so happy about the journey because the people continue to build on the legacy and on that foundation that we would have been able to set with them. And so this is just my synopsis of what Grenada has been for me. And I would just like to say to anyone that is interested in serving as a Genesis missionary, allow God to garner that call within you, allow your church to support you, and allow yourself to be led by His Spirit as He leads you into this new season. I'm Cleon Cadogan, former Genesis missionary and a Caribbean ambassador, saying bye for now.